Anand Ramanan, the president of Sri Ramanasramam, India, is going to talk. Dr. Anand?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well. Thank you, Anand.
Antaryasya bahirvitu tatimiram jyotirmayam shashvatam sthanam prapya virajate vinamatam ajnanam unmulayan pashyan vishmavapita mullasati yo vishvasya pare paraha tasmai Shri Ramanaya loka guruve shokasya hantre namaha tuppari villa ippirapin payan uppidavaye narunachala. Dear sisters, brothers, and children in Sri Bhagavan, I want to congratulate Arunachala Ashrama for flawlessly completing this 14-hour long celebration of Bhagavan's Aradhana, starting from the continent of Australia and finally ending in New York. And the good thing of seeing me is, you know, it's getting over soon. Friends, the Aradhana was celebrated in Ramanasramam on April 18 with traditional pomp and fervor. The Nadaswaram commenced at 4:45 in the morning, followed by special Tamil Parayanam at 5:30, and then there were a 2-hour-long special puja, which most of you might have seen through the digital transmission, followed by beautiful singing, and several thousands of people were fed breakfast, lunch, and dinner. On 23rd of this month, last Sunday, and yesterday, Nitya and I were privileged to be amongst such wonderful devotees in the District of Columbia group and in San Francisco. And in fact, I'm addressing you from San Francisco. Coming to a deeper realm of conversation, friends, today I want to refresh your thinking by thinking aloud 3 questions. Why do we celebrate Aradhana? What does it do for us on our spiritual paths? Why do we have such satsangs? And again, what does it do on our spiritual lives? I would also like to reflect on some minor challenges which I face on a daily basis in the ashram. And again, very minor, because everything is under control, under Bhagavan's watchful eyes. There's a constant question is for the need for a living guru and to interpret Sri Bhagavan's teachings. And the other question is, what are we doing about the growth in the ashram? As you can see, the ashram is attracting steadily more and more new devotees. And finally, the springing up of small amounts of new publications, not printed by the ashram, their authenticity and what it does for the devotees. These are because the ashram's prime duty towards all of you is to maintain the pristine purity of the teachings of Bhagavan, and to maintain the ashram as far as possible as it was during Bhagavan's days. Now, before starting, I would like to read what a DC group member said beautifully, and I thought that has a role, the significance of the events in Bhagavan's lives on our life. Quote, as Bhagavan's devotees, we celebrate 3 important occasions associated with his life, and by default in our lives. For our lives are nothing but a celebration of his glory on a continuous basis. The Jayanti day. This is the day when the absolute cosmic consciousness blooms into our limited consciousness to take over our lives, to guide it to a higher dimension of spirituality. The next function is the Advent Day, the day when the Avatara Purusha arrives in the hallowed destination under the influence of cosmic consciousness to begin the life mission for which the Avatara came to this earth, of rescuing the devotees from the scourges of birth and death, as in our Bhagavan's life mission. And thirdly, the Aradhana Day, which you are celebrating. This is the day that signifies the absolute apex of the mission, the reunion of the Avatara Purusha with the eternal absolute cosmic consciousness. Most Avatara Purushas shed their connection with the devotee's limited dimensions and get reabsorbed back into the absolute cosmic consciousness on this day. But in the case of our Bhagavan, because of his motherly, fatherly compassion, as he was called rightly so by Devaraja Mudaliya, Ammayappan, he is eternally present amidst us to guide us by holding our hands and gently walking us towards self-realization. What is the significance of Aradhana? Aradhana means worship in Hindu parlance. It denotes the yearly worship offered to a saint on the day of shedding of their mortal coil. Friends, is it enough to pay our respects to our Guru, worship him on this day, crave for his blessings? Or is Aradhana limited to a single day every year? Do such celebrations carry a deeper significance for us, the devotees of Sri Bhagavan, who are mumukshus on various degrees of annihilation of the body consciousness or ego-related problems? We will start by first examining what does birth or death mean to a jnani. Bhagavan asks us, who is born? It is only he who asks, whence am I born? That is truly born in Brahman, the prime source. It therefore follows that our true birth is our spiritual birth. Once we commence our journey towards the Atman, the eternal being. The birth of the body is not our true birth. Extending this logic, the death of the body cannot be construed as true death. The death experience of Sri Bhagavan resulted in the death of I am the body idea. The limited self died, and therein was born the true self, the supreme sage. Acharya Vinoba Bhave, a Gandhian, paid the most fitting tribute to Sri Bhagavan on the occasion of Mahanirvana. He said, Sri Ramana Maharshi did not give up his body now. He gave up his body when he was 16 years old in Madurai. Vinoba Bhave put the incident in proper perspective, emphasizing the truth that Sri Bhagavan, Bhagavan's presence, transcended his physical frame. His physical death was just the disappearance of his body. The Supreme Self remains untouched, as powerful as ever. This is why Bhagavan counseled his grieving devotees, testifying to his timeless presence when he said, where can I go? I'm always here. An understanding of the true significance of Bhagavan's Mahanirvana will result in the observance of Aradhana becoming a day of great significance on the spiritual journey for all of us. Only upon the death of I am the body idea does our true birth commence. It is when the birth of knowledge, Atma Vidya, occurs. It is when the journey of the establishment of the true being in the spiritual heart, the Hridayam, commences. Friends, birth and death are only two sides of the same coin. The boy Venkatraman had to die at the age of 16 for the supreme sage, Sri Ramana Maharshi, to be born for eternity. Friends, therefore, the real question for all of us today is whether we are prepared to give up our egos, let it die, so that the true I will take new birth. And it is not that the true I did not exist before. It always exists. It always is. In fact, it only is. But we who are occupied with our little selves are hardly aware of its presence. It is only upon the death of the ego, the giving up of I am the body idea, that we become fully aware of it. The Aradhana of the Sadguru becomes the instrument of inner transformation if on this day we renew our pledge to pursue the truth, our Guru's teachings with dedicated passion. On the day when we are celebrating Aradhana, let us resolve to rededicate ourselves to die to our ego and be born anew in the eternal self. Coming to the second question, why are we celebrating such a beautiful satsang, and what does it do for all of us on the spiritual journey? Satsanga traditionally has been meant to keep holy company, association with the good and the wise. Satsang derives its meaning from the etymological meaning of the word Upanishad, that is to sit closely or near a guru, a teacher, and the sages impart the teachings who disciples sitting steadfastly near them. Bhagavan gave a wider, more subtle and a meaning which is meant for these modern days, the digital ages. He said, this is also meaning steadfastly sitting close to the inner self. Bhagavan said the real being is the self, and no physical form of the guru is needed for satsang. The flow of the power from the guru to the disciples can be received by anyone whose attention is focused on the self. Distance is no impediment to its efficacy. So, satsang means association with the being. Bhagavan's direct experiential teaching involves no preachers, no intermediaries to come between the teaching and the seeker. The triputi of the teaching, the teacher, and the taught merges into one, the observer. This is directly experienced by all of us, even through digital means, all of us who are attending this global online satsang. Friends, on this, we're continuing the topic of satsang. As I said, I'd like to be known as a satsang president of Sri Ramanasramam. Periodically encourage visiting devotees who ask me what they should do when on returning back to their countries. I tell them to meet fellow devotees and form small satsang groups. And I'm glad to report that several new satsangs are being formed I can state one in South Africa, in Finland, in several small towns across India, including Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Bhagavan's teachings are most suited for this digital age. Even in his time, his grace had no boundaries. I'd like to report that the Australian group are visiting for the September 1st function, and they're going to reenact the journey taken by Bhagavan from Madurai to Tiruvannamalai. Recently, I was privileged to attend a satsang in a town in southern Tamil Nadu, Ambasumudaram. And what impressed me was the devotees were from every socio-economic strata, and it was such to experience Bhagavan through their eyes, through their emotions, was really a fascinating experience. And as the ashram president, this winter I welcomed several satsang groups from all over the world, including England, Spain, Japan, Hong Kong, Brazil, and Peru. This is just to name a few. So please implore all of you to continue the good work, and you are all the apostles of Bhagavan, and please continue this gentle but important mission in your lives. The third question I have to address is the need for a living guru. As asked by very few people, but we have to bring this important issue to the fore. They feel the need, some people asked what my thoughts are and the ashram thoughts are for the need for a living guru to interpret Bhagavan's teachings. Friends, even in Bhagavan's time, his grace had no boundaries, no limitations. And why I'm saying this, my answer to all of them is the ashram has the living presence of Bhagavan. And so there is no need for any living human being to interpret his teachings. So a devotee of Sri Bhagavan found himself once in a life-threatening situation during his time. When he prayed for help, Bhagavan came to his rescue. And on his next visit to the ashram, the devotee thanked Bhagavan for coming to his rescue. And Bhagavan replied, "The Guru need not know. The one universal consciousness takes a particular form that the devotee calls out for, and that is dearest to him, and comes to his rescue." Friends, we are all here because Bhagavan has chosen us to be his devotees and not the other way around. The power which attracts us is not ours to decide. Bhagavan is the fire of knowledge, and all who come to him with genuine desire for enlightenment will be burnt clear of their predispositions, vanities, and ignorance. The challenge the ashram does face is proliferation of would-be gurus and self-appointed pandits who want to interpret his teachings. The ever-increasing popularity of Bhagavan's teachings has brought about this phenomenon. Some of them implying that following them can result in the gurus giving liberation. Some of the disciples of these gurus emphasize that the living guru concept advantage of these gurus. The peaceful inner journey, the sadhana of Atma Vichara, practiced in quietude by the devotees and encouraged by the ashram administration, is interpreted as inactivity or inertia by some. Most of these teachers probably mean well. This has happened even in Bhagavan's time. In the late 1940s, there was a Kannada devotee simply known as Bhatt, who lived in Palakot. He was sure that Bhagavan had given him jnana. He then proceeded to buy kitchen utensils in the expectation of crowds of devotees flocking to him as a master. Soon he realized that his newfound jnana was short-lived and that he was just another sadhaka who had become diluted with his own supposed greatness. Recognizing the responsibility of maintaining the purity of knowledge, I recognize that keeping devotees alert to sideshows that proliferate around the ashram in the world in the name of Bhagavan is my duty. This Messiah-like illusion of these new teachers is akin to the Jerusalem syndrome, which affects quite a few visiting the other Holy Land. Jerusalem, there is a special psychiatric ward for such unfortunate would-be teachers, delusional about their importance and spiritual knowledge. Our answer to genuine seekers is that in the ashram is the constant living presence of Bhagavan. Bhagavan warned the devotees even during his lifetime of attaching importance to his physical body, saying that it will disappear one day from the earth. Similarly, the living gurus of today will also meet the same fate. So, do these seekers then keep looking for the next living guru? What do they hope to gain from such association? Instant liberation? Friends, we will lose our one shot at moksha. We lose that aspirational aspect of Bhagavan's teachings. For one day, we will also be bodiless. So we want to be muktas when we are no longer in our physical body. And so Bhagavan avatara is precisely for that, to give us all the eternal moksha. In question 20 of Who Am I, Bhagavan clearly states, quote, God and the Guru will only show you the way to liberation. They will not by themselves take the soul to the state of liberation. My second rejoinder to this is, when Bhagavan was asked about the one quality to look for when choosing a guru, he said, choose one in whose presence you get supreme everlasting peace. Friends, the abode of incarnation of Lord Dakshinamurti is the temple of silent peace, a dense, powerful silence, not an absence of noise. I can quote examples from, there are many Jain sadhus coming from northern India to Ramanasramam after they get the theoretical grounding of their faith in their Jain mutts. And the reason they tell me is, in Ramanashram, as opposed to other places where they have to wait 10-15 minutes before getting inner peace, in Ramanashramam, wherever they sit, even amidst crowds, the next second or the next few moments, they settle down into deep inner bliss. So, if it is good for them, why not for all of us? Similarly, teachers name their disciples, claiming lineage or parampara of Bhagavan. I would tell them it's a nice thought, but actually reveals an ignorance of who Bhagavan was in history and who he continues to be today. Bhagavan is eternally present in the ashram, as he himself has said, where can I go? So, where is the necessity to pass on a lineage? And if there was a need, wouldn't he, the compassionate guru, have already not done it? The proof of his living presence is the increasing number of genuine seekers flocking to the ashram to practice his teachings under his living presence. The poet, devotee Muruganar prophecy is coming true. Muruganar had said that he would not be alive to see it, but he said Ramanashram would gain 100 times more devotees than when he was physically alive. The last topic I like to bring about is the literature that grows around Bhagavan. Some of them are biographies of him and his disciples with exaggerations and facts that cannot be verified by us. There are books containing supposed teachings imparted by him. Suddenly, 1500 pages book appears in somebody's basement, and is brought out, and wherein Bhagavan is giving a long-winded Vedantic explanation of the succinct pearls of jnana given by him to the devotees, which have already been brought about in the masterpiece books published by the ashram, which are there in all your libraries. The ashram categorically rejects such new books and will not have anything to do with them. My humble request to all of you is to stick to the genuine books and avoid being sidetracked on your spiritual journey. Now, I'd like to give you an update on the centenary celebrations of the ashram. The small functions are being conducted in various small towns in various parts of the world. And of course, this is a big celebration. And I once again thank Arunachala Ashrama, the technical team, especially who have been working from 6 o'clock in the morning. And I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. We will be having concerts by the Veena genius Ramana Balachandar in Northern America. And Arunachala Ashrama is planning to conduct a special function associated with this. Friends, we are planning to bring 8 to 10 books of Bhagavan, translations in every Indian language and every world language, to digitize them, and so that these books never go out of print. Of course, they include Who Am I is already there, but the talks, day by day letters, Maharshi's Gospels, and so on, they will be brought out so that they never ever go out of print. We will, of course, encourage the formation of new satsang centers. Coming to the ESG matter, we will try to improve the water levels in the Tiruvannamala by working with the municipality to make the columns, the water ponds, deep, and so that the ground level comes up. The special pond has been constructed near the ashram dispensary. That's a new pond, and that will be a thing of beauty. And I hope all of you visiting the ashram in the next by September, it should be ready. And hopefully, if we get good summer rains, it'll fill up and it'll look beautiful. 22 new guest rooms are being completed with family rooms, and another 18 are in the work. Good 2-bedroom quarters for the staff who service in the background is being completed. An AI quality search with the options of searching Bhagavan's books, the Call Divine Mountain Path, is being developed. Friends, I'd like to conclude you. The ashram is a living organism, not a static machine. One person, with a degree of sensitivity, will sense a difference in the air. It is as if one enters another realm where there is perfect order without rules. The ashram has a purpose, and that is to elevate those who actively want to go beyond their mechanical states of mind so that they can get a glimpse of their own higher being, unimpeded by distractions. Over the decades, millions of people have passed through the portals and have contributed to the sacredness which pervades the grounds of the ashram. Their intention has made it easier for us to walk in their tracks. Friends, like any living organism, the ashram is created anew each day. Our thoughts, our emotions and aspirations, our prayers, our sadhana sustain the ashram and renew it so that it remains fresh and pertinent to our ideals. The ashram continues to be the transformative apparatus, our aspirations, combined with the methodical practice of his teachings, elevates us to a higher level of reality and being, resulting in self-realization for all. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Anand Ramanan, for you came all the way to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Sri Ramanasramam. Thank you very much. And I'm very sure we will see you more this year to visit the different centers and also the Arunachala Ashram.